Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coaching Conversations. Today we're speaking about health versus wealth and which one comes first. Enjoy the episode. Hello, welcome back to Coaching Conversations with Nick and Chris. Nick, how are you today?
Hello. I'm doing very well. I've been working in my office in the whole weekend. It's pretty much 90% there, which is cool.
Very
Waiting
good.
on a few more doors from IKEA, and then we're good to go. But it's looking good. It's repainted, and we're looking okay.
Very, very good. Today we'll be speaking about health versus wealth and which one comes first for you and for your business. And I guess adversely, as a byproduct of investing in health, you're actually serving the people around you as well. We're going to get into that in a little bit more detail, but we thought this was a really relevant topic and something to discuss today. You know, people have that questionable thought, do I work really hard to make money? Do I run myself into the ground, or do I invest in myself daily, which will help me grow my business? Where's the balance there? It's an interesting topic and something that everyone thinks about but may not prioritize. So we're kicking that off today. Nick, what's your take? Let's kick things off and get the ball rolling. What's your take on health versus wealth? And which one really should come first?
It's a really, really interesting topic. We've always heard that saying, if you don't have your health, you've got nothing.
Mm.
But I can tell you, I've been pretty broke, and if you don't have any money, sometimes you can still have your health, and if you don't have any money, it feels like you got nothing anyway, right?
That's right.
So it's kind of crazy, right? So I've written down kind of 5 questions that I think would kind of inspire some discussion around it.
Okay.
But before I do that, I think you've got to consider a few things here. First of all, I think this is at a value set, DNA, spiritual level of who we are as beings.
Mm-hmm.
And you know yourself, unfortunately, business owners need to chug on through even when things are down, or when you're feeling really sick, or when you're flat, or when you got this nasty headache, or you've hurt your finger, or your neck's bloody sore, or you got, a migraine, or you've got the flu, or you've got, and you've owned restaurants previously,
yeah.
and we've all had stuff, or the kids are sick and you're sick, or whatever. I know myself, sometimes I've been like on my deathbed, just recently I had that whole thing with palsy, and 2 days later I'm working again, and you guys are like, what are you doing? Just take time off. So it's one of those things that it almost feels like that, we need to, we need to chug on as business owners. Funny enough, it feels like that. Now, interesting enough, I think, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's up to you. Some people go, I've got a little chip nail, I better take a week off, Now, it's cool if you're getting paid every week and it's regular, and you're an employee, and, you work for a big company, and you are to take time off and all that stuff. It makes it a lot easier from a decision whether it's going to be wealth or health, right? Obviously, your health can come first, and you can give it the care that it needs. So I think it first starts kind of at a value set. Where is it for you? And I'll tell you why, because as you know, most business owners, if I said, is it wealth or health? The answer they should technically give me, it's got to be about health. It's about your health first. But then I go, if it's about health, but I'm not going to pay you for a month, what are you about to do? I go, well, actually we need to, we'll figure it out. Like, we need our health, but we need money too, right? So there's this interesting, part. And then I think, you also get the guilt trip if you take one or the other. If you're working all the time, you're not looking after your health. When you get sick, you go, oh man, can't believe it that I did all of that. I should have looked after my health. And then the other side to it goes, man, I should have, got back to work a little bit quicker. So it's this weird place, and that's why I said I think it's kind of an interesting topic to be able to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, the first question I've got is, what's your priority? And what I mean by priority is, for you, what's the priority? Is it that, you don't look after your health and it becomes a recurring issue, and your priority is, I've got to, get the business happening. There's people dependent on me. Things are a bit tough at the moment. So every dollar counts. I'm losing money. I've got to keep going it, or I'm killing it and we're expanding. There's too much work to do. Is that your priority? Or if business is your priority or wealth is your priority, something's going to suffer. And you've spoken about this a lot yourself. You know, wherever you pay your attention to, somewhere else. Remember, we spoke about the seesaw effect, right? Yeah. The tipping point, right? So, and we said, you know, if you look after one thing too much, like your family or going to, you know, or work, it's this, you know, imbalance, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So what I mean by priority is this. I mean, if your priority is work, and you keep on having the recurring illness, you know, you get the flu easy, you run down all the time, you know, I don't know, you've got an everlasting cold, you maybe have a cancer or something like that, something kind of nasty that you got to deal with, and you're not giving it the attention that it needs. To me, it makes logical sense that you may want to consider what your priority is, right? Now, the other side to that also looks at it. If you go, all I do is look after my health, I just exercise all the time, I eat well, think all the rest of the stuff, you know, I don't work too much, I don't do any of that stuff, and your bank account isn't your priority, I can guarantee you that if you're living anywhere in, you know, Australia today, unless, you know, you're 3,000 kilometres from civilization, you got to figure it out, right? Like sooner or later, your wealth will suffer, you'll suffer, which indirectly causes stress that affects your health anyway, right? It's funny, I was watching this guy yesterday on Compass, the show Compass, and he's a piano tuner. And I think it was like a repeat episode or something, because it looked like it was, you know, 2000s early or whatever. And he just goes around all of these rural places tuning pianos. And I didn't know, but in the 1950s, 40s, 50s, Australia had the most pianos globally.
Wow.
You never knew that, right? It's crazy, right? Like, so people's entertainment was pianos, stay upright, big piano, you know, grand pianos, all that stuff. So this guy goes around, but some of the places he was in was like, you know, Mount Isa and, you know, like middle of nowhere, driving like 10 hours in the car. And he spoke to a guy that they're Jehovah's Witness, no, what's the other one where they live with no electricity, no
the Amish?
Amish.
The Amish.
Right, and it's crazy, right? This whole house was Amish. And the guy said, I was never like this, but I chose to live that. He goes, and if you really want to, you know, save money, you need to get rid of all your bills, including a car bill or electricity bill or a water bill. And that was kind of interesting. Like, that was point blank, get rid of all the bills and you can save money, or you don't need to worry about money. Now, the truth of the matter is, if you run a business, there's going to be bills. So unless you become kind of Amish, and no disrespect to Amish, but, you know, like, it's a crazy thing. So I suppose number one is, what's your priority? You know, if it's making money, you're going to know that at some levels, you know, and I'm going to contradict where I'm at because I've got some other questions on it, but, you know, like, what's your priority? Because one or the other needs to have some level of attention to it at the end of the day.
Right. So okay. So what's more important to you? Is that it? What's more important to you? Is it health or is it wealth on each end of the scale?
At the end of the day, it's really what's more important to you. And I mean, you know, it's interesting because while we're recording this podcast, you know, there's a whole debate in Australia around, you know, vaccinated, not vaccinated. And to me, that should just be a personal choice, not because the government tells you to, or the, you know, the law kind of says all that. At the end of the day, it's up to you. If you want to break laws, you can. If you want to do whatever, you can. People go, you know, if you drink alcohol excessively, it's going to probably get you. If you smoke, you know, 2 packets of cigarettes a day, it's probably going to get you. If you do, you know, do drugs and, you know, and be a bad person, it's probably going to get you. But you've got your own free will. So the same thing here. It's up to you what you make as the choice, but don't go whinging about it. That's the key. As a business owner, you've got choice. You know, unfortunately today with the whole jab, no jab thing, people it's turning into, oh, you've got no choice, we're forcing you into it. And this is what's wrong, because we live in a state of you can make a choice. You're not in prison. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out. So number one, what's your priority?
Great.
It's important. Number two, I think, what's your status today? And here's an interesting thing. What I mean by status today is, if you're building your business and you don't look after your health continuously and you're burning the midnight oil, you know, and you're doing it all for the sake of making money, to try to build your business, to try to do whatever, that's your status today. And if you keep on doing that over a long time, it's not sustainable. We know this. We teach this. Working 20 hours a day for 10 years, all that does is makes you older.
That's right.
And, some of my mates that I see, I'm like, geez, man, the years have been, you can see them, they're on you. To a packet of cigarettes a day, they're drinking,
Yeah.
they're stressed out all the time. And it's all right, they're making money, man, but, it's wearing on them. And I'm not saying that I'm a, Mona Lisa, but, I try to look after myself with health as well. And I've shifted my priorities. We used to be 150 days of traveling.
That's right.
So I get it. So I think, and what I mean by status today is also what you need to do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you can't be either sick enough or healthy enough to put food on your family's table to look after it, or, look after your basic needs at the end of the day. Because no money causes big stress. I know I used to feed homeless for 3 years, pretty much 4 days a week. So it causes stress, at the end of the day. So you've got to kind of go, well, what's your status today? What's it showing you today that you need to do? Because it's a tipping point. If you spend too much time just on health and not enough wealth, well, you can't do much. If you spend too much time on wealth and not enough health, sooner or later it's going to catch up to you.
Yep.
They're kind of the two things, right?
Okay.
And I think you've got to realize where you are today and your status of where it needs to be. Now, you can also have a healthy balance. That's kind of where we're alluding to, right? That. Now, I've got an interesting sort of, number 3 question. And we've spoken about this on a previous podcast, but, what does your gut tell you? What does that inner built mechanism, your gut and your heart and your mind, obviously, and kind of your spirit or your soul tell you? Undoubtedly how you feel. I was talking to a mate of mine, and, he's my best mate. He's a bit overweight and stuff, and he's got to go in for a cancer operation in his kidney. And, they keep on delaying it because of COVID and hospitals and all this stuff. And it's at about 3 centimeters now, so it's not a killer. But at the end of the day, I've told him, I'm like, dude, you've brought this on. You've been working like a dog day and night. You're eating unhealthy. You're stressed at level 3,000. He's got growing kids, and I've been stressing him out over stuff. And, and then COVID affected his, business and all of this stuff. I said, and dude, you're working out, you're stressing out. No wonder. And kidney's a sign of anger. That's the emotion. Right. The emotion of anger is usually held in a kidney.
Huh.
Because all different organs hold different emotions and stuff, like your heart does for love, right? And so when you think about it, and he told me this morning, he goes, dude, I said, what'd you get up to the weekend? He goes, I worked all day Saturday, then went to the other job that he's got, running a pizza place at night, and then said Sunday, he goes, I did some hedges and stuff. He goes, to be honest, I was so tired. I did nothing. I've been feeling tired, and he's been sore for like 3 months. He's got something, done all these tests, nothing. He thinks it could be from like this kidney thing, but you can tell it's just wearing him out. And, and I try to tell him, dude, you just need to take some time off and chill out, reconnect with nature a bit. You got to do that. But he's like me, we need to be moving all the time. It's that thing. And even though he's not like killing himself, but he's still working 15, 16 hours a day, right? So, because I don't know anyone that works 8 hours a day, by the way. So not if you own your own business, right? So,
no.
You know what I mean? And so there needs to be some level of outlet to understand, where you're at with this. And usually your gut tells you, doesn't it? Man, like to me, I know when I've got a flu or whatever, touch wood, or something like that, all I want to do is sleep. I just feel like that. I don't take Codril or any of that type of shit. I'll take a bunch of Panadols and I'll go to sleep for like 10 hours. And then I feel better. It just feels like, my body kind of is tired. Now I take obviously, supplements and vitamins, I'm on a pretty full-on regime with that, and I feel good, and energy-wise, no problem, And so I think trusting your gut tells you where you need to be at some time. So if you're going to work every day and you're risking your health with that because your status says, I need to make money, need to make money, need to make money. And you're getting tired and tired and tired and tired. I can guarantee you what's about to happen. It's like driving your car on a, 3/4 flat tires. Sooner or later, they're going to pinch and you'll get a puncture, or they're going to strip, or they're going to blow up, or they'll just wear out. You know what I mean? Like it's too much pressure on them. And that's what happens with us. And by the way, this also, I think, counts of how old you are. In your 20s, I'm walking through walls. Go to work, go out, club. I played in bands for 30 years, playing all night till 3 a.m, come home, have 2 hours sleep. Sometimes I'd sleep in the car and walk straight into work, have a change of clothes in my locker, and do another 10 hours. And I did that for, I don't know, I think I lived 3 lifetimes in my 20s. That was my thing. Try to do that now, and 9 o'clock I'm falling asleep. So you've got to really do what you got.
Right. Okay, good. I think that's good. And I think people, they may realize that their gut or their mind or their inner being is telling them something, but sometimes they don't pay attention to it.
Well, I think it'd be good for you to share how you kind of meditate every morning and stuff, and why you do it, right? Because that's still working on health, right?
That's right. Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, funny enough, right? So.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, health can be in many different areas of your life. It can be physical health. It can be mental health. It could be mindfulness health.
Yeah.
But, for me, walking every morning and spending that time away from reality and leaving all technology behind, and then being able to meditate some mornings is really important, because it clears the chatter up here and it provides me with a level of perspective and forms a really good foundation for every day. But I also get up earlier than anyone else to go and walk and make sure that I invest that time into my own health, because I realize, and I watched a Netflix documentary about an amazing chef, and he had all these amazing eateries in the States, and then his health took a really bad decline. So he was chasing probably wealth and status, I guess, in chef world, and his health really went downhill, almost basically died. And he said that he has to invest in self. And what I learned from this guy was, he said, I've got to invest in self and put myself first daily, because I don't want to be that shitty person I used to know. And I thought that was really powerful. I was like, wow, like he's actually tuned in, and now he's got that fantastic balance. He spends time on himself. He spends time at work. This is the head chef of some top Michelin star restaurants in the States, who's on the top 50 best restaurants list in the world. He's sleeping underneath the benches in the kitchen so that he could start before anyone else. So it's like that extreme level. But I thought it was really interesting, and I took that sentiment away. If I don't invest in myself, if I don't put myself first, that's what he said, then I'll turn into that shitty person that I didn't like.
Yeah, that's a great line right there, isn't it?
Very, very powerful.
Person that I didn't like.
Yeah. Because he went to alcohol and drugs, and it just got worse and worse from there. And his friends actually formed an intervention and pulled him out of it. So
it's interesting, Chris. People think that it doesn't either, catch up to you, or what you start to do is you substitute every other substance in order to keep working.
Yes.
I know people that take 6 cans of V a day, or Red Bull or Monster. Those things. You're not supposed to drink that type of stuff every day. The caffeine content, and I'm all cool. I'm not having decaf and fucking soy milk or any of that shit. I'm like, all right, it's a piccolo, but I'm having 1, maybe 2 a day. It's not a big bucket of coffee. And even that, really, when I think about it, it's stimulating, the system. Now, add then, Red Bull V, any of these things to try to keep your energy up, because the body's getting tired all the time. The more you get relying on that, the more you got to take, and the more you got to take. It's like drinking, I know I used to be a liter of Coke a day guy.
Wow.
A liter of Coke a day guy. I used to smoke fucking 2 packets a day. I know what it's about, man. And, all that was just to keep me going, because I didn't like the taste of coffee, sugar all the time. And, it's no wonder. It just catches up to you. You can't keep doing it. Last week, I think on Friday or something, we ordered burgers. and Rose got the kind of the wrong one. It was the double patty in the bait. And I've got to tell you, after I ate it, I feel like I was going to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I can't, there's no chance I'm eating that every day. And some people eat McDonald's every day. You know what I mean? So you've got to really understand what's the word for it? Is the race to make money as a priority so important that you're wearing out the body supernaturally is what you're doing. You're wearing it out You're wearing it out before it's time.
That's right.
The body's resilient, right? When you're thinking, you know what I mean? And I love it. You're right. And health is not just based on physical, I feel good. Mental health is 3/4 of the game, I reckon. Because if you're right here, you're usually right here. You know, that's how it works.
Yeah. Good. What are the last couple of points then, Nick?
Number 4, and that's why I said I'm going to contradict myself. You know, you should ask yourself, can you integrate the both?
Ah, good.
And to me, it makes sense, right? So here's how I've integrated it. First of all, I exercise every day. And whether it's, you know, a walk twice a day, maybe 5K walk, whatever, you know, for between the 2.5, 3Ks each, give or take, whatever. Take the dog out, which I love doing, by the way, since COVID's happened, and I absolutely love walking in the afternoon around 4 if I can, if I haven't got any coaching sessions in or whatever.
Yep.
I exercise every day at the park, and then, you know, I've got, before the lockdown part, I was doing 2 personal training sessions a week, and, you know, Krav Maga probably 3-4 times a week. So it's 6, 7, probably 10 hours worth of exercise a week, you know, which is kind of cool. It's probably above what I really need to do, but that's good to me. And I like to wake up early, you know, 5 o'clock, I'm up. And the goal is there never should be an excuse whether you can or you can't. You know, to me, meditation's been a priority in the last 2 months or so. And I do it twice a day, and I can count on one hand how many times I've skipped it in the last 70 days. So not skipped it, I might have done 1 instead of 2.
Wow.
It's 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not this isn't hours. I mean, I don't know, business owners that have got hours. So it can't be an excuse of going, I can't do it. Now, could you possibly find 20 minutes in the day to do some physical activity? And the answer is yes. There's like 1,000 at-home exercise routines, you know, and you can do it. You know, there's something that moves the body around. Push, pull, bend, twist, squat, lift, you know, like it's any of those. You can buy kettlebells now for home. You can buy medicine balls. Yeah. You know, there's ropes, there's everything. You know, but before that was all gym stuff, to be honest. Now you don't need it. So, and then I go, well, you know, can you go, hey, you know what, 3 days a week for half an hour every morning, I'm going to do this. Because if you look at it, I mean, what is it? We got, you know, let's call it 12 hours a day, you know, 10 hours a day working. You know, that's, if you're doing 5 days, that's 50 hours. So, and then you probably got, what, another 5 hours of leisure, you know, cooking, washing, cleaning, you know, all the stuff that you do.
Jobs.
So surely in that 30 hours plus the weekends, you know, surely you can fit 3 half-an-hour sessions of movement around it. And I don't know about you, but after I move like that, you know, after I train for an hour, man, I feel like I'm on fire. I feel really good. I'm focused, you know, and a lot of the times when I used to have my own, you know, like gym and stuff, I'd have the whiteboard next to me. And as I'm doing, you know, star jumps or push-ups or, you know, jump jacks or whatever, I'd pause, and in the recovery, the 30-second recovery, my mind's alive. So I'm writing questions down, ideas, thoughts on drawing stuff, and I just have it there. So it's a really good way to do it too, by the way. It's fun. Yeah. Like if you just have something to write on or whatever, you know, you're kind of sitting around doing nothing for the 1 minute or whatever in the recovery. Sometimes it's a 2 minute. And let me tell you, because all of that energy is flowing around you, it's a good time to think about stuff. If you want strategy, and, you know, you could be doing that. So in other words, all I'm doing is integrating. And some people go, you know, I do exercise because I don't want to think about work. That's awesome. If that's your gig, I'm cool with that. But also know that you can actually combine the both of them. It's like that stuff, chess boxing. You know, you're boxing, and then they sit down and they do a thing of chess, and then they do a round of boxing. Pretty crazy. So you can integrate it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the question is, can you integrate the both? And the answer is yes. You can have the best of both worlds here. Which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And then the final question is, what if you didn't have to choose? What if it didn't have to be health or wealth? How about if you said to yourself, in order for me to get wealthy, I need to have a healthy mind, body, and spirit. If a part of your success as an entrepreneur, and we teach this, right? All our clients are on some type of exercise regime. I speak to all my clients about that. Dude, have you exercised? What's going on there? You've been eating well? And, have you been meditating? Have you been spending time with your family? That we're really big. These are our value sets. What if you didn't have to choose? And in actual fact, being healthy was the integral part of being wealthy. Isn't it? You can't have so much money that they're cutting parts out of you. Sorry, they give you the news. No, sorry to tell you, you got 3 months. What's all the money do? Nothing. It really does nothing when you really think about it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. And my friend Tanya, she's just dealt with pancreatic cancer. She's 44 and she beat it. And I remember talking to her about this. I said, how about work and stuff? She goes, what about it? I'm like, are you going to sort of get into it? She goes, no. She goes, that's not my priority. And funny enough, she's been fortunate that, her mum sort of owns the house. I've been there forever. She's surrounded with pretty good sisters, a nurse. And, she's got some support mechanism that she didn't have to work technically, because there's no chance you can go to work and deal with that level of illness. It's chemo twice a week. It's like air falling out, throwing up. It's like nausea so badly that, do you know, these are things. So sometimes I think you don't have to choose, but sometimes you need to shine the spotlight on. That's probably the best way to put it. Sometimes your body's kind of going, hey, look after me a little bit right now because I need you. It's like the kids. You don't have to have them with you 24/7, cuddling them. Sometimes, they've got to go fall over in the sandpit or, fall off the monkey bars or do any of that. They need to learn that stuff. Sometimes I need to, I tell my wife that, the kids are 12 or 15. I'm like, sometimes you just got to let the horses run. That's what they do the best. You can't hold them back all the time.
That's
you
right.
see what I mean? So you've got to think about that. I think probably to end this, you need to be in tune with yourself. This is what's wrong. Overeating, overstimulating through caffeines, indulging in stuff, not exercising, stressing out at level 3,000 and all of that stuff. It diffuses you or it dampens you from your senses.
I think so.
Alcohol, drug abuse, all of that stuff. If you're going to smoke a joint once every month, it's cool. If you're going to do it every night, you're going to blow 3-4 joints every night or, snort stuff up your nose. All it's doing is done. And I know I used to be that person. And I used to go, I function perfectly the next day. And guess what? It wasn't until I stopped it. And I wasn't big on substance abuse, weed or whatever, and I'm not a big drinker, but I know that when I stopped it, then I go, man, I was playing at a level 7, not a level 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And I know people that's what they can't function without it.
That's right. I think the question ultimately is what works best for you. And I really like what you said. What if it wasn't a choice? What if it was just a point of it having to be integrated in order for both to work? And I think, coming back to the full circle, the priorities, if it's important, then you'll get it done. A lot of people know that exercise is important, but they don't dedicate time to it. Therefore, they don't get it done. And they work solidly until their body tells them, hey, now you need to spend some time on health. But then it could be too late. So really, you need to be
too late.
Yeah. So you need to really look at, how is it best serving you, health or wealth? Which one really comes first for you? My belief is you need to invest in self before you can invest in the business. If you're not right, nothing's right. Now that doesn't mean you have to.
If you're not right, nothing's right. You're exactly right.
And it doesn't mean you got to spend, a whole week investing in health. It could be as simple as 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's it.
I've been thinking about that, and here's what I think it needs to be. Everything's in balance, all ratios. I think every 3 months you can afford to take a 3-day holiday. Every 3 months.
3-day weekend. Yeah.
Like a 3-day weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Something like that. Because I think if you look at it, that's 90 days for 3 days. I think that's because I know when I go away on those, leave Thursday night or whatever, or Friday, get there by lunchtime. I've got pretty much all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and sometimes I come back on a Monday. So like a 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Man, I feel energized. Those little short breaks to me is good. Now, funny enough, sometimes when I go away, now I don't do 7-day holidays anymore. I do 10 days as a minimum. Because I know if I haven't had a holiday for 6 months, it takes me 3 days to kind of wind down. And then you're into it. You got your thongs on all day. It's hot, summer, pool. And I'm just like going with the flow. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. Yeah. And then, I don't want it that like 3 days and then I got 4 days to go. And on last day, you're sort of, kicked out of the hotel at 12 and it's all of that type of stuff. So to me, it's 10 days now. So and this is what I can't understand. We work 300, like I'll wait a whole year to take 1 week off. Like that's an imbalance. 12, literally 11 and 3/4 months to have 1 week off.
Yeah, something's out of kilter.
Right? Something's out, and that's why the short little holidays are fantastic.
There we go.
They're a good re-energize. Get your mind focused again.
Perfect. That might be the piece of gold that you need to take away if you're listening or watching this. The 3-day weekends, maybe that's the most powerful thing that you can start, implementing into your work and lifestyle. Guys, hopefully we've opened up some questions for you today and you're starting to think about health and wealth differently with you, your business and your life. Guys, if you have any questions around this or would like some more information, reach out to us at askitupcoach.com.au. We're going to wrap it for today. Thank you so much, Nick, once again.
No problem.
And we'll speak to you and see you all again in the next episode of Coaching Conversations very soon. Bye now.
Bye now.